Good morning to everyone in the West Hemisphere. Welcome to the lessons on Patana, Part 5. I am Brother Layu Chong, and I'm the meeting co-host for today. May we invite Bante to start the teaching, please. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
We will pay homage to the Buddhas by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times before we start giving Dhamma talk. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So, as we have already announced, we will start talking about Patana today. This will be the last chapter in this series of Dhamma talk. And today I am going to talk about jhana mental process. So we have many different types of consciousness according to our lifestyle. Then we also have different level of mindset. Sometimes we have unwholesome minds. Sometimes we have wholesome minds. Among the unwholesome minds, sometimes we have greed-rooted consciousnesses. Sometimes we have hatred-rooted consciousnesses. Sometimes we have delusion-rooted consciousnesses. Now, in the case of Kusala also, we have many different types of wholesome consciousnesses. In the wholesome, we have a normal wholesome consciousnesses. Also we have, so sometimes we also have like a higher consciousness, like a jhana. The jhana is special consciousness. When we can practice, then we can attain jhana. If we cannot practice, we cannot attain jhanas. That's why we have to know when we attain jhana, what kind of mental process will arise. In the mental process, we have to know the series of mind moments. This means mind or avoiding consciousness. That means in every single mind moment, whenever we attain jhanas or we enter into jhana statements, the first mind moment of jhana mental process is manodana vachana, the mind or avoiding consciousness. Now we have second mind moment. P. This means parikama, preparations. This is also wholesome consciousness for ordinary people. Also Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and Anagami. When an arhat attain jhana or arhat enter into jhana statement, it will be functional consciousness. Then another one is upachara. The next mind moment, this is it, assets. We have the next mind moment, the next mind moment is anuloma, conformity. Then another one is, the last one is a considerable change or lineage among the sensual consciousness. So parikama, upachara, anulo, considerable, these four are sensual sphere consciousness. But they will take the nimitta as an object. And moreover, we also have different types of mental process according to the personality. Later I will explain that one. After Kutarabu, the consciousness become higher, the next level. This is a jhana consciousness. So when we attain jhanas for the first time, it will be only one mind moment. But when we re-enter into jhanas attainments, it can be many jhana mind moments. There will be second jhana javanas. There also can be third jhana javanas. Also, there will be many jhana javanas, many jhana impulsion consciousnesses. They will arise according to our determination. If we determine or if we try to master it for 1 hour, then jhana mind moment will arise 1 hour. If we determine for 2 hours, it will be 2 hours. If we determine for 3 hours, it will arise for 3 hours. If we determine 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, it can be according to our determinations. Many jhana mind moments will arise whole day, whole night, as we determine. At the end, there will be bhavanga mind moments, BH. This is the life continuum. This is the end of mental process. So, all these mind moments, excepting Naravachana and bhavanga, then they may have two different types of nimitta. According to our perceptions, it can be different shape, like stars. It also can be like the moon, like the sun. That it also can be different color according to meditation subjects. It can be like a white, red, black, or yellowish, or like a brown color, anything. So, in brief, all these mental processes will take nimitta as object. So that means without nimitta, we cannot attain jhana. For example, for the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, most of the jhanas have nimitta as object. Without nimitta, we cannot attain any jhana like this. Then when we attain also according to personality, it will be different. Now the mental process I have shown in the screen is just for mandapanya. Mandapanya means those who have very slow and sluggish attainment. Maybe because of the defilements, because they have a lot of impediments, or because of their temperaments, or because of they have a very weak samatha or vipassana practice, then they will have slow attainment. Then for them, the mental process will be as mentioned in the screen now. There's another types we call tikapanya. They can attain jhana easily. So that means they can practice easily, they can also attain jhana easily. Now for them, we have different types of mental process. The next slide. Then no more parikama, no more preparation. So there will be only upachara and ulama quadruple, no more preparation. Again, okay, then there will be different objects according to the practice. Okay, now we have said two different meditators. The first one can attain easily. The next one cannot attain easily. This is the first thing we have to know. That according to the conditions like that, we also have different types of jhana according to different objects. The Buddha explained many different types of jhana according to people's temperament, tendency, and inclination. So, if they practice For example, like 32 body parts meditation. Can you move slides up to 32 body parts? Can you move it unto, okay, 32 body parts. Okay, the first jhana. So, when we practice only 32 body parts, we can attain only the first jhana. We cannot attain more than that. Because it's reverse-minded meditation. Also very gross. But we can subside our mind easily. Then we also have many different types of other practice. For example, now I have already mentioned asubha, 10 asubhas. So when we practice 32 body parts or 10 asubhas, we can attain only first jhana, not more than that. They are gross, also repulsive, not very desirable for meditator. Okay, now in the case of 32 body parts, although we can practice only one body part, for example, head hair, just keep practicing head hair, like continuously like this, we can also attain first jhana. Similarly, if we can practice only body hair continuously, we can also attain the first jhana. So by focusing in any kind of 32 body parts, any of 32 body parts, we can attain the first jhana. Similarly, 10 asubhas, 10 repulsiveness meditation, according to the dead body, the corpse. So when the corpse is newly dead, then not that much spoiling, not that much repulsive. Gradually, after 2 days later, 3 days later, it will spoil naturally, gradually. Then finally, it will turn to the bone, or skeleton. So even one single bone can be considered as meditation subject here. By focusing on one's bones also, we can practice, we can take the first jhana. If we can practice whole skeleton also, we can attain the first jhana. This is the asubha meditation. Then we have the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana. The when we can practice metta meditation, karuna meditation, mudita meditation, we can attain up to the first jhana, the second jhana, and the third jhana. So based on that, we have to continue practicing upekkha. So in upekkha jhana, so if we can attain metta, karuna, mudita up to third jhana, we can proceed practicing upekkha. By upekkha, we can attain only the fourth jhana. So again, here we have to know the object of metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. It is living beings. So metta also living beings. When we talk about normal practice, like a anapana or something like that it can be very simple concept, breathing meditation. Now, when we talk about was it metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, it must be living beings concept. When we practice 4 sublime variants, metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, we cannot talk about nama rupa. If we talk about nama rupas, this is a really fake metta. We must pay attention to living beings. We must think about their welfare, and we must radiate metta toward them. We must radiate karuna toward them. We must radiate mudita toward them. For example, karuna will take suffering being as object. All living beings are suffering. We have to suffer from something. Similarly, mudita, we must have sympathetic joy. We must be happy or appreciation when somebody is successful, or when somebody can do very well. That is also living beings. Then, what about upekkha? It can be any living beings. Sometimes, although we wish them to be well and happy, they cannot because of their karma. Although we wish them to be free from suffering, they cannot because they have their own karma. Although we wish them not to separate from their possession of prosperity, but They cannot. It depends on their karma. So that we can do Upekha meditation, Sabbe Sada Karma Saka. That's the way we have to practice Metta Karuna Mudita. So here in brief, Metta Karuna Mudita can attain up to that jhana, the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, in every single jhana, they will take living being as object. Based on that, if we can continue practicing the next one, Upekha, it also can be living being as object, but it can take only the fourth jhana. We have the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, and the fourth jhana. So, if we can practice Anapanasati, now here list out meditation subject. So when we can practice breathing meditation, Anapanasati, we can attain first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, and the fourth jhana. They have nimitta as objects. So here I have already said, in every single jhana, there must be nimitta. Without nimitta, we cannot attain jhana. Then, okay, here we talk about Anapanasati. By practicing Anapanasati, we can also see the nimitta. In the very beginning, it will be Parikama nimitta, preliminary sign, then Ukha nimitta, learning sign, and we also have Patipaka nimitta, the counterpart sign. Now when we can focus on counterpart sign, when we have deep absorption states, deep concentration on it, it can be considered as a jhana. So the main thing is, Anapana has the last stage of nimitta, Patipaka nimitta. Then the first jhana also take Patipaka nimitta. The second jhana also take the Patipaka nimitta. The fourth jhana also take the Patipaka nimitta as object. The mental process will be the same. Manoravajana, mind-over consciousness, Parikama, preliminary sign, or the preparation, Upachara, sex, and Anuloma, conformity, and Godrabu, change of lineage. After that, jhana, my moment. Then, similarly, Tangasina. If we can practice one of the Tangasina, it will be the same. We can take the first jhana, the second jhana, and the third jhana. It will be up to fourth jhana. So they also have their own nimitta. For example, Earth Kasina. The concept Earth will be the object. Similarly, Water Kasina. The concept, the natural water can be the object. Then we also have Wind Kasina. The natural wind can be the object. Then we also have Fire Kasina. The natural fire can be the object. So they are the object of jhana. So that means they also have the same mental process, Parikama, Upachara, Nuloma, Godrabu, and after that jhana. Whenever people enter into the jhana, it will be the same mental process. So I have already said it depends on the practitioners' conditions. There will be two different types, Mandapanya, Dikapanya. In the Mandapanya, there will be Parikama, and Dikapanya, no more Parikama. So we have to know one more thing here. Among the 10 kasina, we have 4 Kala kasinas. We also have Earth kasina, Water kasina, Wind kasina, Fire kasina. Also, we also have the Light kasina. With these 9 kasinas, we can also proceed practicing immaterial jhanas. So I have already said, all the material jhanas will take concepts, Patipaka nimitta as object. But when we talk about immaterial jhana, they may have different objects. Every single immaterial jhanas have different objects. That is why we have to understand the one normally. Boundless space consciousness, boundless space jhana. So after removing one of the kasina, then we can also enter into boundless space jhana. So that means if we have attained the 4 material jhanas by practicing any of 9 kasinas. I already said, excepting space kasina, we may have remaining 9. So all 9 kasinas can attain 4 jhana. Also, from that 9 kasinas, we can also proceed immaterial jhana. So the main thing is here, okay, now, for example, we enter into Earth kasina up to 4 jhana. Imagine from it, we have to reflect the weakness of material body. That means because of this body, we have to suffer from many different things, like fighting with the sticks, maybe weapons, many different things. Also torturing in many different ways in the prison and somewhere. Because of this body, we have to suffer from it. If we don't have this material body, we don't need to suffer from it. So this is the first thing we have to reflect. After that, we also have to reflect the weakness of material jhana. Material jhana has materiality as object. Then we have to go better than that. Then we have to re-enter into Earth kasina. After that, we have to expand the Earth kasina, descend space kasina on it, expand the space kasina gradually, and it becomes boundless. That means, and we cannot see any boundary, infinite universe. So that means if we just see space everywhere, we can say boundless space. So removing Earth kasina, we have boundless space consciousness, boundless space jhana. So the main thing is boundless space jhana must come from kasinas. We're going to do it from Anapana. We call kasinokati makasa, the space removing the kasinas. This is called boundless space. So when we have boundless space, when we have attained boundless space jhana, then we have to proceed the second jhana, boundless consciousness. Then we have already said boundless space is the object of the first jhana, boundless space jhana. What about boundless consciousness? So consciousness is invisible. We cannot see it with our eyes. But for about space, we can see it with our naked eye. If we wish to see how to do this, then the next slide. Just link. Okay, this is enough. So that means boundless consciousness will take boundless space as object. That means boundless space jhana as object. So taking boundless space, the jhana will arise. That jhana is called boundless consciousness. So taking this jhana as object, we can take the second immaterial jhana. So the mental process will be the same, although we have a different jhana attainment. Maybe the number of mental factors, mentalities will be different. For example, the first jhana, it will be 34, and the second jhana, it can be 32, then third jhana, 31, fourth jhana, 31. But now here, immaterial jhana, 31. Different types of mentalities and different types of jhanas, it will be different. But the mental process will be the same. Also, we have a different object already. So in every immaterial jhana, we have different objects. Okay, now we have the next one. Nothingness jhana. People also get confused with nothingness jhana. They say nothingness. Okay, nothingness means we don't need to see anything. Our mind must be empty. They have that kind of idea. Many people also misunderstand. If we don't know any particular object when meditating, they think this is a nothingness jhana. In reality, it's not that simple. Nothingness jhana also comes from another object. So that means we have already explained two, right? Two objects also, two jhana have two different objects. Now here, third jhana, it also have different objects. Nothingness means it's the absence of the first immaterial jhana, boundless space jhana. The next slide. Okay, that means, although we say nothingness, it is the absence of boundless space jhana. When boundless space jhana disappears, we have to take that one. For example, when we are entering the second immaterial jhana, boundless consciousness jhana, boundless space already has gone. So we have to pay attention to that, the absence of boundless space jhana. It can be considered as nothingness jhana. So here nothingness means, here nothingness doesn't mean seeing nothing or knowing nothing. It just means knowing the absence of boundless space jhana. So we have to understand the one. So although we have the material jhana, mental process will be the same. The number of mentality also the same. Although the jhana become very high, higher jhana, mental factor will be mental factors that associate with the jhana will be the same. Same as before, same as previous two jhanas. Then again, we have another perception, non-perception. You all have known the one very simply. So that means meta-perception, non-perception means there is a perception, but it's so subtle that it's seen to be no perception. But there's also still very subtle perception. That's why we're going to say there's a perception or no perception. For example, we may say something about water. Okay. So Tichami asks his disciple, is there any water? The disciple said, yes, Bandi. Okay, please bring the water. I have to take a shower. Bandi, it's not enough to take a shower. Then that means the amount of water is very little. There's a water, but there's not enough amount to take a shower. Similarly, there's a perception, but not very clear. It's very subtle. That's why it's called the perception, non-perception. I mean, very, very subtle perception. Again, this neither perception, non-perception also have different object again. That means it will take nothingness jhana as object. That means the calmness, the peacefulness of nothingness jhana as object. So here we have 4 types of immaterial jhanas. Boundless space, it will take boundless space as object. Boundless consciousness, it will take boundless space jhana as object. And nothingness, it will take the absence of boundless space jhana as object. And neither perception, non-perception, it will take nothingness jhana, the calmness of nothingness jhana as object. We have different objects, but they have the same mental process, the same number of mentalities in every single mind moment. Okay, so this is about the object of jhanas. If we summarize, in jhanas, we have two different types. We can say two different objects. The first one is concept. That means like a kasina, asubha, everything. They are only concept. In the immaterial jhana, the second and the fourth are taking taking the consciousness as an object. So this is the materiality. So this is the mentality as an object. We have to understand like that. Okay, so now, if we talk about the aramana, the object of jhana, it will be very simple. We don't do think about many times, right? Different objects. This we can say, this is the aramana type. Then, okay, we have to use another one, Upanandara type. So that means, in the slideshow mentioned, Manora Vachana to Parikama. Preceding my moments and succeeding my moments. It's Anandara type. Continuity. Then Samanandara. Actually, Anandara Samanandara are like a synonym. Next one, Upanisaya, okay, Nati, and Vigata, the last one. So at least there will be 5 types of conditions. Anandara, Samanandara, Upanisaya, Nati, and Vigata. These 5 are the conditions between Naravachana and Parikama. Then we have another one, Parikama to Upachara. Parikama and Upachara, it was the same, only 5. But, sorry, Parikama and Upachara, we can say this is Asevana, right? Another one, Asevana type. Then Upachara, Nulama, Godravu, then it will be Asevana type. So, from Godravu to Jhana, the first jhana also Anandara, Samanandara, Upanisaya, Asevana, Nati, Vigata. Then the first jhana, Javana to second jhana, Javana also the same. 6 conditions. Then as long as there's a jhana mind moment, there will be Anandara type up to Asevana. So there are 6 conditions there. Now we have to know all the conditions here. Actually, Godravu change of lineage and jhana. Godravu is Kama Vachara, sensual sphere consciousness. But jhana is higher attainment, higher jhana. But they still have asevana. It will be a little bit strange, but actually for about that, we have to go and search in the patana. Especially like a Panyavara, we can find that kind of relationship. Then, so similar to that, although here I didn't mention anything about Mecca and Phala, path and fruition knowledge. So last week we have already talked about Mecca and Phala, it will be Anandara Gamma, right? But for about entering into fruition, it will be the same types of mental process. Okay, it will be a little bit different. For example, here we have a jhana, right? In the place of jhana, you have to understand, you have to see phala, fruition. It will be different. For Sadapana, for Sakatagami, it can be like Nulama, right? It will be different mind moments, but okay, still the same types of consciousness. So the main thing is that although they have different level, Kodrabu is sensual sphere consciousness, jhana is higher attainment, that they still have asevana. We have to understand that one. This is a little bit new to and many meditators maybe. Conclusion. The first one. Nama do nama. So that means this is the summary of all the patana relationship. We have many conditions just talking about nama to nama. Now we have already talked about another type. Preceding mind moments and succeeding mind moments, nama to nama relationship. This is the first one. So nama to rupa. So actually we have already talked about the one before. The nama will produce, chitta will produce chitta rupas, right? This is the one thing. Then we also have pachajata pachaya, post-nascent condition. In the post-nascent conditions, the succeeding mind moments will support preceding rupa. That means the rupa that arise together with preceding mind moment. This is called pachajata. So we can say nama to rupa. Nama is the cause, rupa is the effect. Rupa to rupa. So this one is also very simple. For example, ahara. We also have the material nutriment. It will produce new rupa kalapas. Like for example, we also have like rupa junindriya, life faculties. It also can support all other coexisting rupas. Corporal reality. This is also rupa to rupa. Then rupa to nama. So that one is a little bit easier to explain because we have puricata pachaya, pre-nascent condition. We also have aramana pachaya. Aramana will arise earlier than the mind moments. Now here we have already talked about jhana mind moments. All the nimitta will appear before you attain jhana. This is the aramana type. But here, unfortunately, aramana is a concept. But for about immaterial jhana, like a second immaterial jhana, boundless consciousness. So it will take the first immaterial jhana as an object. That's why this is a nama do. Nama is the object. Okay, anyway, the main thing is here, rupa do, nama means pre-nascence. Rupa will arise, then nama will take objects. For example, like a kala, this is real rupa, real materiality. The nama can take the kala, there will be hydrometer process. Similarly, the sound. Sound will arise earlier than the ear consciousness. The ear consciousness can take objects. It can be aramana type. Similarly, smell, taste, touch. They will arise earlier than the mind moment, then they will be the object. Next one. Nama to nama rupa. We can find this kind of relationship in Sādhata times. For example, Hetu Pachayo. Hetu is a nama, only 6 mental factors: greed, hatred, delusion, non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. These are the roots, causes. Then all other namas and mind broju materialities and gamma broju materialities can be the effect. So there are many similar things in the Sādhata group. So nama can be the cause, nama rupa can be the effect. This is also one thing we have to know. Then we have the next one, the next slide. Nama rupas to nama rupas. Yeah, this is also the conditions. Okay, very clear ones like in the sense of Prisandi, Hariya Rupa, and especially like in the Prisandi, right? Or the Nama Rupas, they can support each other, Nama Rupa to Nama Rupa. Okay, anyway, the main thing is the cause is also Nama Rupas, the effect also Nama Rupas. There can be that kind of relationship. Then we have many different types of other cases like that. Okay, here I forget to search how many conditions can be Namarupa to Namarupa. Anyway, the main thing is We have to know mentality, materiality, both can be the cause. Another mentality can be the effect. We can also understand like that. Okay, then the last one. Panyati nama rupa to nama rupas. This one is very wide. Here I haven't explained the one. That's why I have to add this one at the end. For example, in the case of Aramana types, we can take anything as objects. For example, like a nama can take, nama is the effect, right? Nama can take any nama, rupa, or panyati concept. It can be like a pakatupa, aramanupa. Aramana object also can be another one is pakatupa, upanisya, powerful dependent conditions. Okay, for example, in the sense of the one, okay, first nama to nama. For example, we have already accumulated dana. We may recollect that dana. So dana is also one of the chetana, volitional formations that can force our mind to do dana. Then we take that dana chetana as an object again. Then it can be aramana type. Sometimes we have already done dana in the past. After accumulating, then a few months later or a few weeks later, we may recall it. We may have very strong rejoice or happiness. Then preceding one is kusala, right? Now we also have another kusala. Maybe after 1 week or after maybe 2 weeks or 1 month, something like that. So that means nama is also the object. Another mind will take previous mind as objects. Nama to nama. At the same time, we can also understand nama rupas in the sense of aramana again. For example, like nama rupas or other living beings taken as object is also possible. Okay, for example, somebody has attained psychic power. He could read other people's life, past lives, for example. So if we can know other people's past lives, all these are namarupas. Namarupas or other living beings are the object. His psychic power take it as object. So namarupa is the cause. The nama is the effect. Then panyati, how can we know panyati? Okay, now in Myanmar, so when it's not really very heavy right now, especially in my place, very hot. So the weather is also concept, right? As too hot, we are not very happy, not very active. Then concept also can be powerful dependence, powerful supporting cause. Then if we don't have good foods, good nutrients, we're going to survive. Foods, this is also one of the concepts. So taking food as objects, we are happy or unhappy. Taking the weather as objects, we are happy and unhappy. Concept can be the cause, our mind will be the effect. Without objects, mind cannot rise. So not only that, actually, although we have many other wholesome minds, it can be under this Panyati nama rupadu nama. For example, like a jhana. Okay, now I think I should introduce some Pali passage here, right? You may have known in daily chant, Purima, Kusala, Dhamma, Bachimana, Kusalanan, Dhammana, Upanisya, Pachena, the one. So that means preceding Kusala Karma is the cause, succeeding Kusala Karma is the effect. So in preceding wholesome dhammas are the cause, succeeding wholesome dhammas are the effect. We have that kind of relationship in Patthana. So I have already explained the one, taking wholesome mind as object, we have wholesome mind. Then again, Purima, Kusala, Dhamma, Pachimana, Akusalana, Dhammana. In this case, we have Kesanji, Upanisya, Pachena, Pache. Anyway, the main thing is, preceding Kusala also can be the cause, succeeding Akusala can be the effect. For example, after offering something, maybe 1 week ago, then we try to reflect or recollect what we have done. Then we're gonna feel happiness. Or maybe we may regret. Then if we regret, it can be akusala. Preceding kusala is the cause, succeeding akusala can be the effect. Similarly, we have attained jhanas, many jhanas, few weeks ago. But now we cannot practice very well. We have lost everything. We may feel sorry, remorse. Preceding kusala is the cause, succeeding akusala can be the effect. So similarly, we have attained second power 2 weeks ago. Now we cannot practice because of weather, foods, environments, we can lose everything. Then regret or remorse, it can be the same. Because the preceding kusala is the cause, succeeding akusala can be the effect. So again, we also have like a purima, abhyakata, dhamma, vachimana, abhyakatana, dhammana, panisya, pachena. Okay, that one also can be very simple. Sorry, purima, kusala, dhamma, vachimana, abhyakatana, dhammana, sorry. So that one can be many, especially in another type. We have preceding mind, succeeding mind, many like this. We can do like that one. Anyway, the main thing is the panyati. Nama or nama rupa can be the cause, nama can be the effect. There are many relationships. We haven't talked about pattern, according to Patthana relationship here, especially like Bhagavad-upanisaya, we just say very short and very simple. Yeah, we didn't say that much in detail. So if we cannot find any relationship, we can find in Bhagavad-upa. Right? Akusala to kusala relationship, kusala to akusala relationship, everything. Okay, now another thing. This one will be the last part, okay? Akusala also, basically akusala is the cause, succeeding kusala can be the effect. It will be strange for you, I think. This is also possible. For example, like when we see somebody attain jhana, for example, right? But that was our enemy, for example. We hate him too much. Then we also, if he continue, I can also attain, right? We have a lot of mana, proud. We are proud of our ability. Practice. Finally, man become very calm and quiet. He contains jhana, for example. So that means his mana, his pride, his anger give me the cause. Then jhana give me the effort. They give me very far cause, right? Similarly, because of attachment, we offer to many different people. Attachment is akusala. Offering is a kusala. Attachment costs the donation. For example, like my parents and me. Whenever I need something, I can ask my parents, offer me this one. They will offer me, sure. Because I'm their son. We have relationship. If we offer because of relationship, we can also say this attachment. Then anyway, the main thing is, attachment also can be the cause of dana, the cause of sila, the cause of meditation. I think maybe around 7 years ago or something like that, I'm thinking, one Singaporean lady came to Pao Doya. Actually, she was a non-Buddhist. Her son was to ordain as a bhikkhu, and she came to Pao, but her son brought her to Molamie. She doesn't have faith in her ability and her practice. She does not have faith. She didn't have faith in Buddhism also. Because of her son, she has to practice. Fortunately, she could see the light. But because of many other conditions, she could not attain jhana or any higher attainments. Okay, the main thing is attachment to this. Her son is the cause of meditation. This is akusala to kusala, cause and effect relationship. So there are many other things like this. For example, like we do dana, we are proud of dana. This is also akusala to kusala. We have a lot of mana. We have a lot of communication with our Dhamma friends. We offer more. Akusala is the cause, mana is the cause. Hosan is dana is the effect. There can be many relationships in the last one. Panyati nama rupa to nama. I have already said, like panyati means like a weather, like a food, residence, living place, kuti, or anything, or a panyati, right? They can be the cause of nama. Okay, so in brief, now here, patana and dependent origination, we have two different things. In the dependent originations, we just discern cause and effect relationship. When we practice patana, we have to discern cause, the effects, and the condition. So we have to discern three things. They are under the title of cause apprehending knowledge, or we can also say the knowledge of comprehending cause. Anyway, the main thing is we can also practice patana relationship in the very beginning of vipassana. Not very beginning, maybe the second stage of vipassana knowledge, right? Cause apprehending knowledge is the second steps of insight knowledge. So when we can practice cause and effect relationship thoroughly in detail, we can overcome 16 types of doubt. 5 types of doubt about the past, 5 types of doubts about the future, 6 types of doubt about the present, altogether 16 types of doubts. We can overcome all these types of doubts. Then we are also same to Sotapanna. That's why they are called Tula Sotapanna, small Sotapanna, or maybe junior Sotapanna. So by following the Buddha's teaching as instructed by the Buddha, you can also experience all this relationship, and also you can also practice vipassana, contemplating them as anicca dukkha anatta. As a result of it, when insight knowledge becomes mature, you can also attain the path of fruition knowledge. May you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and as a result of it, may you all be able to attain the final cessation and of suffering, nibbana. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Right. May I translate for Sādhu? So this one question is regarding the previous lecture on Rupa Sahajata. Yeah, regarding Rupa Sahajata. Yeah, on the 3rd class regarding Rupa Sahajata. In Rupa Sahajata, there are altogether 5 types of pachaya, 5 conditions, and one of the conditions is called Nisaya Pachaya. And in Nisaya Pachaya, she would like to know how to discern it practically. There are altogether 5 variables. First, she would like to confirm which one is correct. In this Rupa Sahajata, Nisaya Pachaya, one way is to discern in one kalapa. There are 4 elements, and the other 6 rupa, means the Tasaka kalapa. So one way is this 6 rupa taking 4 elements as cause to have Nisaya Pachaya. This is one way. Another way, these 6 rupa take each and every element, 4 element, each and element, Patavi Apo Tejo Vayo, as is caused to have this Nisaya Pachaya, or this 6 rupa and the 4 element are Anyamanya Pachaya to form this Nisaya Pachaya condition. Okay, number 4 way is each and every one rupa in this rupa tasaka, between them they are Anyamanya Nisaya Pachaya. Which one is correct?
Okay. So actually, Sājada, Anyamanya, Nisaya, Ati Avigada, right? All will arise at the same time. Okay, now when we talk about Nisaya, we have to say, all the 8. Okay, now you say 8. Okay, I have to also say 8. All the 8 materiality will arise at the same time. They will perish at the same time. Before perishing away, they will support each other. Okay, the main thing is 4 elements, as you say, 4 elements. So 4 elements are mostly the cause of Nisaya. Also, sure, they are also interdependent. Usually, that one can be, the last part of Abhidhamma I have already explained. Anyway, I will say simply. So, 4 elements and all other, okay, as you ask this one. So among the 4 elements, earth elements is the most powerful for dependence. Depending on earth elements, all other elements also can arise. For example, color, the color of earth element, the color of 4 elements, like this. Okay, so the main is the 4 elements can be the basis. After that, all other rupas will arise. That's why. Another thing is that without the other 4 also 4 elements cannot arise. They are supporting each other. That's why we can understand. Anyamanya, Sājada, Nisaya, Ati Avigada. These 5 will arise at the same time. All these conditions, right? So we cannot separate only Anyamanya, only Nisaya. We cannot separate like that. If they rise, they will rise all the 5. Okay.
So, Sādhu, that means in the question, the 4 ways of discernment. The right way is the 4 element will be the main cause to to become the Nisaya, to relate with the Upada Rupa by Nisaya Pachaya.
Sure.
Next question is, he would like to ask about this Anusaya Kilesa. He heard that Anusaya Kilesa, the power of the Anusaya Kilesa can persist because of Anantara Pachaya. So how to understand this statement? For example, if someone have a Somanasa, Jnana Sambayuta, Asankarika Chitta. So in this time, at that time, Anusaya Kilesa, how does it appear? How does it manifest?
Actually, this one, that kind of statement is a little bit strange to me also. Right? Anusaya Kilesa can be perceived by Nandara. This is a little bit strange to me, right? Actually, Anusaya Kilesa also, because the objects, they arise. Okay? That's the hidden defilements. For daily life or normally, if they will not arise. But when there's a special object, like a designable object or undesignable object, the defilement will arise, and then we can say Anusaya Kilesa. That statement is a little bit strange to me also.
Sādhu, these following are extracted from Sādhu's Practical Abhidhamma lesson on 4 jhanas according to suttas. In 3rd jhana, is there any upekha? Could Sādhu explain again regarding the Pali terms mentioned below and about the upekha in 3rd and 4th jhana? Sādhu.
Okay. So that means, so in the sense, or in the case of 3rd jhana, we call jhanupekha. Janupeka is this like a equanimous feeling. So we can like say this is a tata machadada, right? Okay, ever evenness metaphysics. It will work properly, it will work very powerfully. That's why we can say Janupeka. So okay, if we say briefly, Parisudupeka and Janupeka. And that jhana is a ubeka, this is a janupeka. In the fourth jhana, this is a parisudupeka, two different ubeka. In the fourth jhana is ubeka feeling, the feeling, one of the metaphysics. In the case of that jhana is the ever evenness, tatra majatra jirisika. These two are different. Okay.
Yes, Sādhu. In the previous lesson on two kinds of jhana, Sādhu explained about Samatha Nuyoga Patilada jhana and also Magasiddha jhana. And then Sādhu also further explained that Patisampeda Pada Chalabhinya Tevijapada Arahan belong to the group 1. That means they are based on Samatha practice. And also Sādhu explained that they will attain jhana naturally without practicing. I'm confused about the two sentences above about the jhana that is completed by practicing samatha and will attain jhana naturally without practicing. One is with practicing, one is without practicing. Could Sādhu explain about this again? Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
The first one is samatha siddha. This is very simple, right? We have to practice. We will attain jhana very simply. That's the mekha siddha jhana. That means when somebody attain Mekha and Phala, they will automatically attain jhana by the power of their parami. For example, like I have already said, the Parisamhita and Devichapada, Chalabhinya, that kind of arhat. So when they practice Vipassana, at the end of Vipassana, they will attain everything easily and naturally. This is called Mekha Siddha jhana. Now, one more thing here I have to add. Actually, I didn't write down in the books. Another one is that many people ask this question. For example, if Anagami pass away without attaining jhana, can he be reborn in a Sudavasa? This is a big question. Many people ask the same question. Although Anagami, right, the one who has attained Anagami, laypersons or bhikkhu, when he passed away in near death moment, okay, in lifetime he didn't practice samatha, he didn't attain any jhana. In near-death moment, he will definitely attain the fourth jhana. He will be reborn in the Sodavasa Brahma. This is also Mekha Siddha. Right? Without practicing, because by the power of their fruition knowledge, their Mekha, their path of fruition knowledge, they will attain jhana naturally. This is also called Mekha Siddha jhana. Okay?
Sādhu, wonderful Sādhu. Yes, we have a question about in the mental process about like suppose if the Aramana is Buddha statute, but the person is a Muslim. So in this one mental process, so like we have the Vijnana and then also Sampatijana, Santirana, all the Vipaka. So is it that the Vipaka is Kusala Vipaka, like Kusala Vipaka, because Buddha naturally is the best object, but because it's a Muslim, so the Jalana will be Akusala. So is it possible that the Vijnana and Santira Sampatijana is Kusala Vipaka, like in the 18 Ahituka? Possible like that? So possible. But so the jhana is Akusala.
Yeah, I know. So okay. we have a special mental process mentioned in the Vedamata Sangha. We call Akantuka Bhavanga Uti, right? Gas Bhavanga. So you may have known that one, Gas Bhavanga, right? So the main thing is, if somebody has been born as Dihiduka, But when seeing the Buddha, unwholesome mind arise, like a dosa arise, for example. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
After dosa javana, then there will be the dharamana. But they cannot rise. They cannot rise the dharamana. Right? The dharamana cannot arise because of their pradisandhi. Their pradisandhi is 3 heruka, 3 roots. The dharamana must be ahetuka, right? Or maybe somanasa. But because according to pradisandhi, it must be somanasa, but somanasa cannot arise because of its dosa. Also, after dosa, if ubaka also cannot arise, ubaka dharamana also cannot arise here because of pradisandhi. Then we say there's a there is the process we call akanduka bhavanga, right? Akanduka bhavanga means the gas bhavanga.
Gas bhavanga.
Right? The gas bhavanga. So then you know the investigation mind, equanimity, right?
Santirana.
So we have that kind of mental process. That's why it's possible. Only the dharma is the problem.
Okay.
So that means sahetuka, wholesome mental process. Ahetuka, wholesome resulting consciousness. Also, there's a dosa jita, right? But they cannot rise to the dharma. Only that thing will be different. It's possible. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So another question: if suppose the aramana, say like excrement is a feces. So if this is according to the normal people, so the object will be undesirable object. Or but if we can contemplate, this anicca, dukkha, anatta. So I mean, even this is also akusala vipaka. I mean, in front, and then after that mental process, if you can contemplate this anicca, dukkha, anatta, so it will become a kusala javana.
Actually, when you contemplate as anicca, dukkha, anatta, there's no other reception. Not our janma and the 7 javanas. No kusala, akusala vipaka there. Right?
Oh.
Can you remember the mental process, right? When you contemplate as anicca, dukkha, anatta, it must be mind or mental process.
Ah, right. So no more the Pantadhara or Jana.
Sure.
Sādhu, but if you see the feces, it's by your eyes. So the Pantadhara, the Saku mental process will arise, right? How are you going to make a definition? Because we read your book, so we have a big argument. I say, how you decide this is desirable or undesirable? Suppose we see the corpses, okay? Corpses is it desirable or undesirable? For practitioner, maybe it's desirable because after that we can contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta. But we see by our eyes. Say we go to the burning place and see the body. So what will be? Yes. What will be? Yes.
Okay, so it depends on the person also. Actually, when you talk about designable object and undesirable object, we have many different statements, right?
Yes.
We have many different statements. Okay, for example, we have many different statements. Means, for example, according to the conditions. For example, okay, I will give another example. Durin. Right? People like durin, right? Durin.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
If we see only the cover, if we see the cover is undesirable, right? Cover is not much good. Then again, if we touch the cover, also this is not really very good sensation, right? So touching. So according to the iron door and according to the body door, it's undesirable. But when you open, it's smelly, right? For some people, it's a good smell. For some people, it's a bad smell. It depends on our conditions. So it's how you accept it, okay? So that means desirable and undesirable can be according to your conditions. We cannot say exactly. Desirable and undesirable. It's your age. Okay, it's your age. Also your environment, where you live. Also, then it can be, your sense doors. It depends on sense doors. How you accept it, right? You cannot say exactly it's desirable and undesirable. Okay.
That's why, and you say it's for the medium people. where you have to make a desirable or undesirable check only in the standard of the medium.
Medium
Right.
people, but also the place.
The place.
Right? Yes,
And
the place. The door.
Yeah.
Everybody is around the door. Iron door and
Okay.
air door. Air door,
Okay.
nose door, different door. Okay.
Yeah. So Sādhu can be like half, right? Like in front of the mental process is kusala and the jhana is akusala. It can be also in front is kusala or akusala, like can be half. Okay,
Sure.
okay. So another thing about the jalana, I think I have a big strain about the Hasitupada. I mean, it's so short, right? Only 13 mental factor. This is the shortest jalana, only 13 mental factors among all the jalana.
We cannot say shorter, right? We cannot say shorter. We can say very little mental factors in it. Right? We cannot say short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they are aheduka. Yeah, yes. Oh, because aheduka. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sādhu.
Wandami Sādhu, good evening. Please Sādhu explain how the mental process when people attain Nirodha Samapatti. Thank you, Sādhu.
Oh, big question, right? Big question. Okay. In Nirodha Samapatti, we have Samatha Vipassana practicing together. Okay. So in Nirodha Samapatti, we teach in the process. Okay, now I have to go to the page. Okay, later. Okay, no, I want to show the slideshow. Okay, I want to use the slideshow here. I'm going to use. Okay, the main thing is in the Nirodha Samapatti, we have to start with samatha. You know, we have to enter into first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, up to 8 attainments. This is the way we have to start with Nirodha Samapatti. Then gradually, okay, so the Anagami, right? Anagami will enter into the jhana, also enter into Vipassana, Samatha Vipassana together. Okay, at the end, they will enter into the neither perception nor non-perception jhana. So that means the mental process will be another vajana, mind of consciousness. After that, parikama, preparation, anuloma, assex, then upachara, assex, anuloma, conformity, and go to the Gu, change of lineage. After that, neither perception nor non-perception mind moments 2 times. After that, Nirodha Samapatti. So the cessations of all the namas, also mind produce materialities. This is an entering. So when he emerged after his determination, but 7-day determination, for example, right? After 7 days, fully successfully entering, when he emerged from it, according to their attainment, for example, Anagami, when Anagami emerged from Nirodha Samapatti, then fruition consciousness will arise. After that, life continuum. If arhat emerge from cessation attainment, then the arhata fruition knowledge will arise. Then that will bhavanga mind moment, life continuum. Okay, if we summarize, the mental process will be, okay, simply, right? Mental process will be Manora Vajana, mind consciousness, Parikama, preparation, Upachara, assex, Anuloma, conformity, got the root change of lineage. After that, 2 neither perception or non-perception mind moment. Sorry. Then Nirodha Samapatti, when he emerge, it will be either Anagami fruition or Hata fruition, then Bhavanga. This is the mental process when we enter into Nirodha Samapatti. Okay?
Sadhu. Thank you, Sādhu.
Good evening, Sādhu. May I ask, when a person attains jhana, in a jhana mental process, there are 6 conditions. So, Anantara, Samanantara, Upanisaya, Nyati, Vigata, Asewana. May I know why is karma not a condition in a jhana mental process?
Okay. Actually, if we talk about this is only another type. We have already talked about Sādhana type in our previous sutra. That's why here I didn't mention here, right? So in the karma type can be in the Sādhana group. Okay?
Okay, yeah, I get it. Now my second question is, what are the ways that Sādhu will be able to advise us so that we could develop and accumulate Upanisaya Pachayo, strong dependence conditions in our meditation practice, especially for those who have meditated for many years and they cannot stabilize the nimitta and cannot enter jhana. So what would your advice to help those yogis in this case? Thank you.
Actually, okay, in the booklet, I have already mentioned about the jhana. Okay. Anyway, now I have to review some parts. So we have the back conditions. Okay, if we wish to have power dependent Upanisaya Pachayo, I have already said there will be foods, weather, environment, residence, meditation, right?
Yes.
So sometimes we can change all the things, sometimes we cannot change. Sometimes we have to change our mind. Okay, the main thing is we have 10 impediments. Okay, I will not say all the 10, okay? I will say briefly. That means you must not be busy with any other things rather than meditation. If you have to be busy with many other things, then it becomes impediments. It will make your improvement slow. This is the first thing, right? Okay, this is about negative. What about positive? That we must also have a skill. We must be skillful. So before you start seeing the nimitta, you must be skillful in nimitta also. That means, for example, you must know how to train your mind to know one object continuously, to know breathing, for example, continuously. You must be skillful. You must learn from your own experiences. So if you are skillful, okay, here we have 3 things, 3 skills, right? The first one is karana. So you must know how to get the nimitta. Also one of the skills. So that means, okay, another thing you must, okay, if you don't see the nimitta, you must know how to get better concentration. In which condition you have better concentration? For example, foods. Some of the food will make you drowsy. Your concentration will become weaker. Remember which food causes drowsiness. Sometimes environment. Your environment noisy, then you have to choose better environments. Sometimes weather. You have air conditioning, no problem, right? Yes. So you have to know what makes disturbance, how to overcome that problem. This is the making to get nimitta. You must be skillful. If you have improved up to some level, you may have seen the nimitta, or you may have seen the light, for example. You must be skillful in how to maintain it. Maintaining is also one of the skills. Sometimes we can improve, but we cannot maintain. Up and down all the time. So we got like consistency, maintenance. This is also important. This is second skill. That one is developed. You must know how to develop your concentration. Then in which condition you can improve. In which condition you decline. If you can know all these conditions, you can make it better, right? So, okay, here, in brief, 2 things. One is a negativity. Negative one is a impediment. Then here, positive one is skill, okay? If you have skill, you can improve, right? Yes. Actually, there are 10 types of skill also mentioned, right? It will be too long.
Okay. Sādhu. Thank you, Sādhu.
Yeah, Bhante, thank you very much for your teachings today. May Bhante lead us in making aspirations and sharing of merits, please.
Idawadaja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sampati siddhya idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyadayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyadayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyadayo idam me punyam asawekaya waham hotu idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu mama punya bagam sabba sadanam pajemi te sabe me samam punya bagam labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet again on next Sadhu, sadhu.